So I'm going to talk a little bit about re-engineering monoliths for cloud-native application using Jakarta EE MicroProfile and JBoss EAP. Anyone have heard about JBoss EAP before? Okay, are you using JBoss EAP? Okay, and what about the Jakarta EE? No? Okay, MicroProfile. Okay, you guys maybe have a wrong room right now. Okay, just kidding. So yeah, he already introduced me very well. So here's my social media stuff handler, Daniel030, Twitter, LinkedIn, and GitHub and YouTube channel. Yeah, you can find me whenever you have some question or some of the issue, Java, cloud, the other stuff, and AI as well. So application modernization in a lot of companies actually already have done or just starting, because the application modernization is not only application itself, but also runtimes, infrastructure, for example. So one of my customers, okay, we need to go to Kubernetes, which means that we need to containerize the application using Docker. And then, so our application isn't ready for Docker right now, and then you don't know, because some application probably still tie in your local file system or static IP address or some weird third-party application which can be containerized with the Docker. So application migration is not only application itself, again, it's relevant to your whole portfolio and architecture. So there are many interesting surveys across the regions and then across the industry why people needed to application modernization, and then how do they actually define that application modernization. And then I just highlight the Asia Pacific area, aka APAC. You can see that a lot of people thinking about, okay, MMod is the improving CI/CD. We have a traditional like a Jenkins, and then that's not flexible and dynamically scalable on Kubernetes or container or even public cloud. And then like a data modernization. So previously we have a relational database like Oracle or some MS SQL Server. And now we are more like a NoSQL database, more Neo4j, or some more like a rather than RDBMS. There are many agenda and many perspective you are thinking of app mod, like a serverless or the function. Even AI is one of like some critical agenda for app mod as well. And then how do they get started the modernization? The organization. So there are some 6 strategies like retain and retire, so nothing to do. Okay, we are so happy with the current architecture. So we don't have money for that. We don't have resources for that. So we just keep doing what we are doing so far. That is the retire, retain stuff. And the rehosting is to change your, like for example, runtime, okay? So we have like a Tomcat, for example, Java apps, and now we're gonna go to like a WebLogic or JBoss EAP or some more lightweight application server. That is a rehosting. Still, you're going to same technology, but a little bit different runtime. And what about the re-platform? It's changing your platform. For example, we run an application on bare metal or virtual machine, and now we go to Kubernetes. Doesn't matter cloud, public cloud provider or Red Hat OpenShift or whatever you take. So the change platform itself. And then refactoring, this is the most hot topic for application developer. It's to really rewrite your application. For example, yeah, we previously monolithic application, like some big giant WAV file or EF file, and running on WebLogic or IBM WebSphere. And now we're going to microservices with fantastic 12 vectors. And this is a huge challenge for developers. And the repurchase is really, okay, we don't have not enough resources because we have very limited people, like developers, and then IT operation team. But we need to go to mod. How do we do that? Okay, we just buy it, like a public cloud services, like for serverless Amazon Lambda or Agile Functions or some kind of fantastic services. So I'm not saying you're gonna pick one of them. You can actually choose multiple strategy at the same time, as long as you have good enough resources and money, humans, and knowledge and skills. So once you decide your team, your organization, and your company decide, okay, we're gonna go for the cloud-native transformation, and then what kind of pillars we need to consider about. So first of all, as you expected, the microservices is like a standard way how to design and develop your application, regardless of runtimes like a Java, .NET, Python, whatever you take. But you also need to go for microservices. And then, for example, the Java application, so you already need to catch up the latest version. Like, for example, long-term support like a Java 21 right now, but they're already Java 22. So, but still, a lot of people actually stay with the Java 11 or unfortunately 8 as well. So, how many people are actually using Java for your app dev? Okay. Which version are you using? Like a Java, what?
17.
17? Okay. Anyone 21? Okay. That's cool. So what about for most people actually 11? Okay. Okay. Sorry for that. So there is a catch up because the new Java has already provided great features. For example, Java 21, like a virtual thread, and then like a pattern matching in the project Valhalla, and then concurrent structure, concurrency API. There are a lot of good features. So you can use that to optimize your application. And then you're gonna keep trying improving your developer experience, like some writing code, testing code, and the build code, like inner processes. And also, whenever you take a new platform, which allows you integrate new cloud-native technology, for example, like a GitOps, based on GitHub Action and Argo CD, or a CI pipeline, or some containerized application. And then rather than purchase one single vendors, you need to more embrace like open source tools and technologies. And then of course, whenever you take a new open source project and tools, it should be supported by long-term support, not only vendors, but also community projects. So if you take some time and spend some money and then find some project and tools, and then they're just gone in the next 6 months, and you totally waste your time. So these are 6 common pillars you always think about when you adapt to new kind of stuff. And then, okay, so the 6th thing really great. So how to get started? Which project I need to looking at first? So that is, first of all, in the Java world, Jakarta EE. So previously we were using Java X, like a Java Enterprise packaging, Java Enterprise Edition. And then there are a lot of the behind the story, like Oracle transfer to, they donate to like Eclipse Foundation, and then a lot of stuff happening. And they renamed Java X, Java Enterprise Edition to Jakarta EE. And then the Jakarta EE 10 try to help developer and operation team to build the modern cloud app dev. So rather than heavyweight application, it's more like a little bit, not 100% microservices, but more lightweight, and then more fast adopting new cloud technology with integration. And then, so MicroProfile actually specify the Jakarta EE 10 core profile. For example, here, like a telemetry or open API. So imagine that, so microservices, you need to create the application as much as possible, like it's smaller and faster. And then a new feature came out from like open source projects, and you need to adopt that feature to implement your application. But Java is really slow to catch up that kind of stuff. So that's why Jakarta, the MicroProfile, try to provide enterprise capability, but also catch up the fast and rapid changing from Java ecosystem. And the JBoss EAP is a JBoss enterprise application, like some Tomcat app server run Java application, like some even microservices, like a jar file, the Uber jar, and also enterprise artifact, like a EAP file and a WAR file as well. And then there are some structure based on modularity. So rather than you load all modules or the relevant library, is selectively load your module. For example, I just need to run this application for cloud, and then the JBoss EAP allows you to only load the cloud-related library at a time rather than the full package of libraries. And then also support Jakarta EE 10 as well as a MicroProfile, which means that when you develop your Java application using MicroProfile for REST client or some metric capability, and that using library already built in app server. So you don't need to do something other extra configuration into app server. It's already there. You just turn it on off some specific feature. Okay, I need to run this application, integrate some messaging system like a Kafka topics, and then or the like a cloud environment or some data transaction, something like that. So there is some fundamental like open source technology how to get started migration or modernization here from monolithic application. And then after that, a lot of people ask me, hey Dan, so okay, that is cool. And then how do I put together the multiple project like a Jakarta EE or the MicroProfile or my like a Java application into modernization journey? And then the first question actually asking for tools. So, okay, is there some fancy tool which allows me like analyze my application and then show what problem I have potentially and then currently? So there is always tools, and then there are many ways you can use tools like my standalone application, like a download, install, read stupid documentation, or you can just pull container image from somewhere containerized like a Docker, and then just running on that. Or you can use some paid services, some vendors. So Conveyor project is one of the open source project, part of the CNCF Cloud Native Computing Foundation. So it allows developers to analyze their existing application for migration or modernization from specific environment to specific target. So let me show you a quick demo and a live demo, less of the time rather than that boring slide deck. Okay, so this is my IDE, the VS Code, and then you can actually install VS Code extension, which is like a wind up, part of the conveyor, and then application migration and modernization. You can install this plugin for IntelliJ as well, or you can just download the CLI based on your operating system. I'm macOS, Windows, or Linux. Download the CLI or download the standalone server. So there are several ways you can enable, but I prefer VS Code extension or IntelliJ plugin, just developer standpoint. And then once you install, and then you can find here too big. So I'm going to try to make it a little bit smaller. And then now you can see that not too small, right? Okay. So this is here is the bird icon in the left-hand side, and then wind up, and then you can find the wind up explorer, and then you can create a new configuration, and then setup. You can set up. Let me try to delete, and then put on the new directory. Open my file, and this is I have a monolithic application based on WebLogic application. It's a pretty much old application monolith, and then. So let me try to modernize this WebLogic to JBoss EAP, because JBoss EAP using MicroProfile and Jakarta EE stuff. And I just check it out, target EAP 7. and then the source from WebLogic. So there are many sources like some Camel, older version Java and Java EE, JDK, or even you can migrate from Spring Boot to Quarkus, or monolithic application to Quarkus as well. And there are many paths you can modernize from and to. And then once I select and then I just run, analyzing my application start, it depends on how big your application is. So my application not so super big, so it takes less than 1 minute to finish my analyzing. But if you sometimes print like a 10 gig Word file, it takes maybe 10 minutes or 20 minutes. It's analyzed like a Java file, classes file, and a Word file, property file, any file in target directory. Yeah, it's all kind of stuff. Just done and then open report UI. And then now you can see that there are story point 10, which is my potential issue for migration, which means when I run this my Java application on JBoss EAP directly, I have a 10 issue. And then not 10 is a 10 story point. For example, here is the WebLogic. Okay, you can go to this file, the com.redhat store utility package startup listener, and then you can see there are like a Java X, and then the WebLogic library, you actually use that. And then when you compile and run on JBoss EAP doesn't understand that. Which means that you got some error when you run an application. You need to fix that. But sometimes we just recommend this is your potential issue codable line, but we not give you solution. Sometimes you give some solution, but not always, because developers needed to verify this is the right solution or not based on the application logic. So the story point is not number of issues. It's more like a migration effort. For example, so one story point, it takes 2 or 3 hours for middle-level Java developer who has some 2 to 4 years experience. But you don't need to multiply like 2 hours, 10 story point equal 20 hours, because there are many issues very relevant. Okay, I fixed this one, it automatically fixes the other ones. Or I already know how to fix that, and the next one, I don't need to spend a lot of time because a little bit change and apply for that solution. So when I go back to my VS Code, and then this Explorer, and then just the example, util, under the util package, and then startup listener, and then you can see that here is my application, and there's some red line, which is just, oh God. Okay. Wind up, back to here. You can also view like a view detail, which is actually, I check it out from my web UI, but you can also see that recommendation and the root codes from your ID tool. So here are just some recommendation. You need to use a standard open JDK stuff, like rather than using WebLogic library like a startup and or singleton method annotation. So let me try to fix that real quick. I'm going to try to delete the WebLogic library first. Here, I don't need to this kind of stuff anymore. And then just a recommendation. I just need to singleton, and then what are the others? Open detail. Yeah, startup. Okay. Startup annotation, and then here's also this application life cycle event from WebLogic. I don't need to override that, and then this is a more standard way post construct, and then this is a pretty story, and I don't need to this thing as well, and then save a file, and then once you fix that, and then you can actually mark complete. But this is not necessary, because we're going to reanalyze the application again, just to verify I fixed the old problem. When I go back to UI, and then there are few more error, like the issue. Oh, you got to steal the WebLogic, some XML file, And then there are some old JavaX annotation as well. You have a POM XML. You need to fix that to run this application like a JBoss EAP. So I'm going to change it to Explorer Navigator, which more makes sense to me. And then let's go to I just need to delete the whole WebLogic directory. I don't need to use it anymore. And under the web INF, and then go to this XML. Probably not working on JBoss EAP. And one more time, the POM XML. As you mentioned, the Explorer import. I don't need to this kind of thing as well. So I just save file. Okay, let me give it a try to reanalyzing this application again. So you can continuously reanalyzing this application over and over again until you fix the whole issue. But that issue actually categorizes 3 levels. One is critical, which means you don't fix that, you cannot run the application on target environment. Or so good to have. If you not fix that, still working. However, maybe got some performance issue. And then last thing in the minor, it's just a recommendation. So open the URL again. And now you can see that I fixed the old problem like a 0, which means good. So, but when I start on this conversation, so Jakarta EE 10, which is a more advanced and latest version, and JBoss EAP 7 still using older version Jakarta EE 9. So I just maybe, okay, so there are some steps to modernize the application, but sometimes I don't need to like a step by step, more like a jumping the last step, but it's too risky. So that's why I just change and modernize my application first. And then now I figured out, okay, my application works. However, I still needed to catch up the latest version, like a Jakarta EE 10 and MicroProfile 6.1. What happened? Sunny. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my compilation, migration stuff. And then now I'm going to try to target from EAP 7 and then change EAP 8. And then I'm going to run one more time. And then it probably show a lot of application error because when I go back to my source code and then go to this one, for example, you can see that all old Java package name Java X. But Jakarta EE 10, you need to use Jakarta EE package name rather than Java X. So previously I have only 10 story point issues. That's exactly, I just fixed the problem in a couple of minutes. And then now I got a new report based on JBoss EAP 8, and then now I have more than 106. And then, so maybe you can have good at math. Okay, I just take some, took 5 minutes to fix the 10 story point. And now 106, which means more than 100 minutes or 130 minutes. So mentioned earlier, you don't need to calculate with that formula. Because luckily, when I go to a monolith and issue, and then most likely all is the same thing. You just use Java X, you need to replace the Jakarta platform package name rather than Java X. And then when I click on the other one, it's all the same thing, Jakarta EE stuff. If I go to next page and then they will replace Java EE, some of the XML and you referring to old version 2.1 should be 3.0 Jakarta EE 10. And then this is a persistent XML. The other beans XML also you use the 1.1 XSD. You need to use 3.0 XSD version. So luckily this tool actually provides a fantastic feature. For example, apply all quick fixes. So when I click on that, you can see that automatically change your old files for new quick fixes, like a Jakarta EE stuff. So it takes a few minutes, depending on how many files you have with these issues. And then once you're done, and then I go back to Explorer and then change that application, like I mentioned earlier. This should be 3.0. And then persistent, which is resources metadata. Here also 3.0 and save a file. And then back to the wind up, and then I just re-analyzing my application. Took less time more faster to fix the problem because luckily this tool give me the quick fixes. But the quick fixes is not all the time silver bullet. Maybe it's just a specific case. For example, Jakarta EE stuff. So, and then once the almost done and 90%, 100%, this will go and open the report. And then now we have probably all solved the 0 story point. Yay. Ta-da. So this is a quick, simple, I don't have enough time to run this application again, but definitely working, maybe like install stuff and then create a new WAR file and running on JBoss EAP is definitely working. So this is how to using this wind-up tool, using migration tool. So let me wrap it up and then not just application side. Once again, so application modernization is leveraging a platform layer. So for example, so we are using some like old container environment like a Docker Swarm or some like a proprietary or some old technology like Cloud Foundry, the other stuff. But we are looking forward to going to Kubernetes. And then some ecosystem open source tool from this conveyor. It also provides a move to queue, which means that you upload your application itself, like a WAR file or some directory itself, and it automatically generates all Kubernetes YAML file. Not only deployment service, but also when you check out the Tecton for CI/CD or like a serverless on Knative and or like a GitOps stuff, it automatically generates all YAML file for you. So again, so application modernization, not only application change or refactoring, but also platform layer as well. So, and then a lot of people interested in AI. So you probably attended a bunch of the AI session last couple of days, and then today and tomorrow as well. So as you showcase that tools in IDE, it shows, okay, recommendation or some quick fix, but not perfect. So there are many different use cases or potential issue on your application, but I want to make it faster and then easier and comfortable way with the AI integration. So one of the efforts for this project actually integrate LLM and RAG for integration and to keep running your application analyzing, but also many common application portfolio. It will provide the recommendation, but also solution. And then you just click on solution, it automatically refactor your application right away. Like a quick fix, but quick fix is just to replace A with B, but this is more like a change your application code itself. But again, it's not gonna automatically change at once. It let developer verify application to be architecture first. And once you verify that application, oh, that is valid or correct, I'm going to just press yes, and then it changes it out. And also reanalyze and then verify application. So yeah, you can subscribe my YouTube and then find this demo again, and then maybe you can share with your colleague when you're looking for app modernization with the new latest the Java technology. And then feel free, subscribe, and then spread, and then ask me anything based on Java, Kubernetes, cloud, serverless, and AI stuff. And then I'm happy to help you out with any kind of solutions. All right, that's it. And thanks for attending today. And I hope you enjoy this session and then rest of this conference. Thank you so much.